Hello! Today we're going to talk about smarter accounts payable solutions from Objectif Lune. At Objectif Lune we create, automate and distribute your most important documents, transactions. So looking at this slide we can take a look at some examples of those transactions. For years we've been experts at outbound transactions, for example accounts receivable, outbound invoices, for example purchase orders, outbound purchase orders. What's new with Objectif Lune Connect is the ability to manage inbound documents. So those inbound documents examples might be inbound purchase orders. And what I'm going to focus on today is inbound invoices or the accounts payable documents. With that in mind, let's take a look at your existing situation. Your existing situation is probably very manual. How do you receive the invoices? Possibly by mail, maybe as an emailed PDF, or possibly as a scanned piece. So from there on out, it's all manual. You have to read the document and key it into a system. You have to scan the document to push it into an ECM system. It's a complete manual process, very expensive. So let's take a look at the cost of processing AP inbound invoices for an organization. It's huge. According to the Aberdeen Group, it's $17 an invoice. That's a lot of money. Why is it so high? Well, it's not just the keying of that transaction into ERP, it's the managing all the challenges. If an invoice comes in that's wrong, someone has to get on the phone and fix that. That's a lot of time. So an average AP clerk statistically can only handle 20 inbound invoices a day. That means they can only achieve 16 per day in terms of the keying. That's costing a lot of money. What are our customers' requirements in such a system? Well, first of all, of course, you want to increase the processing speed. Secondarily, you don't want to misprocess invoices because you may pay too much or too little. And thirdly, you want to process invoices in the appropriate time to take maximum advantage of early discounts. As a customer, what are your options to manage AP inbound invoices better? So the first option, of course, is paper-based processing. It's totally manual. Invoices are often misplaced. Now that's obviously a very bad thing. If you don't pay an invoice on time, you're going to get penalized. What about the three-way match? How do you check that an invoice matches the purchase order, what you thought you bought, and the delivery receipt, which is what actually got delivered? That's again a manual process, going into manual filing cabinets and sorting out those bits of paper. So it's a very error-prone process, and if you make errors, ultimately you form a bad relationship with your vendor through mispayments or underpayment. We've talked about manual processing. A step up from manual processing is acquiring an ECM or an EDM system to automate the AP process. But the challenge there is you've still got a lot of manual tasks. Those documents have to be scanned. Scanners are fairly expensive and by definition require people to operate them. If you want to get the line item detail off that invoice, that's line item detail extraction. That's very, very expensive OCR software. So the option of moving to an ECM system helps the process, but surely we can do better. Many of our customers use EDI today. EDI is an electronic data interchange. Lots of partners out there, trading partners, do business this way. The inbound invoice now comes in as an EDI transaction. Now that's great because the cost of managing that is very small. Machine to machine is costing you cents, not dollars, to process those invoices. But the challenge is you still have inbound paper because statistically only about 20% of all inbound AP invoices come in as EDI transactions. Let's introduce a new way of looking at AP processing using OL Connect. So let's take a look at the current process. The invoice comes in possibly as a fax, and a PDF attachment to an email, maybe even via the mail in an envelope. Those documents get unpacked, and the first thing that happens is they're scanned, very often to kick off a process, what in an ECM system. That ECM system sometimes is used to do line item detail extraction with some very complex OCR. That's extremely expensive. Next step in the process is to match with a POD. Did it actually match what I thought I bought? That's a manual process checking those documents. Next step is, assuming everything's right, is the payment is approved. Now that has to be keyed or posted into the accounting system. And then finally, the hard copy piece of paper that came in at the front is stuck into a great big filing cabinet. The OL solution is a blend of technologies. The transaction comes in as it always has. The difference is we capture that transaction before it turns into paper. We capture it as a print file. Now we can extract all the data at no significant cost from that document, no OCR required. Once OL Connect has control of that data, it can do various things. One is it can push that document with the associated data into an ECM system. Why? Because now it can go through a workflow approval process to verify that that invoice is appropriate to pay. Should that invoice be approved, the next step is to take that data already extracted. If our customer has an EDI system built in, then we can push that document directly onto a value-added network and push it into the exact same process that their EDI transactions come in on. That's very, very low cost. While all this is happening, of course, in the background, we're doing the three-way match electronically. If we have the data from the invoice in OL Connect, we can very easily compare that to the data in the purchase order and the proof of delivery, completely electronically. And while this is all going on, we can also do customer communications, advising the customer of the status all the way through. So OL Connect, with respect to AP invoices, handles all the inbound invoices to turn them into data. But what if an invoice comes in which is not in the right format for our system? That's totally fine. They're manually handled by being pushed to the ECM system of choice. So some of the key business benefits of this technology, as we can see listed here, is we're greatly speeding the order to cash cycle, critical for any business getting money in. We're eliminating scanning, maybe not eliminating it completely, but greatly reducing scanning of inbound AP invoices. We can automate many of these processes to the extreme case of driving transactions electronically directly into your ERP system. We can tremendously increase accuracy of processing invoices because we're working with machine data as opposed to trying to read pieces of paper. And then ultimately, one of the big side benefits of this is the ability to prevent fraud and scams based on inbound invoices, which is quite common. So some of the key differentiators here. First of all, Objectif Lune has the largest install base for mid-market software. Our technology is easy to implement and we respect your time and your budget. It's very cost-effective technology. We have a global organization. Why is that important to you? Well, if you have offices around the world, we can support you wherever you have Planet Press installed. We're tremendously good value. We respect your time, we respect your budget, and our technology is very, very fast to implement. So with all that together, we have a tremendous solution for AP applications.